guys, welcome back to my channel. For those of you that are new here, my name is Katie and today we are talking about the Makeup Geek relaunch. This is the Matrix. This is the Matrix collection from Makeup Geek. I have both palettes here. I did an unboxing building swatch video. If you guys want to see that, I'll link it down below. But I've been playing around with it for about a week now. I usually don't like to do a review for something unless I've used it every day for about a week, and I feel really confident in my review of this, so let's jump into it. So I have to say, I don't think I was more excited for a rebrand of any other brand before. When I found out that Makeup Geek was coming out with all new products, I was super excited. I thought, you know what? It's about time. We all learned last year what the tea was on that, and it was just some poor business decisions made on Marlena's side, who is the owner of Makeup Geek, collabing with someone who wasn't professional. You know, we know all of that, but I was glad to see that she was kind of coming out from under all of that and was rebranding, because I used to love their products. The only reason I stopped using them was there was one particular shade called Poker Face. It was a loose pigment that I was obsessed with. If you look at my old videos of, like, I want to say 2013, 2014, Poker Face was literally in every video. I was obsessed with it. It was amazing. And they discontinued it. I found that they discontinued a lot of, like, cult favorites. I couldn't figure out what the deal was on that. But because it seems like when you have a cult favorite, you should keep it. I mean, that's why they call it a cult favorite. But anyways, so I just kind of stopped naturally buying because I wasn't using Poker Face anymore because I didn't have it. And it was just one of those things that it just was a natural progression. I stopped hearing about them. I know that Marlena's claim was because she couldn't afford influencer marketing, but I disagree. You could still do PR releases and stuff like that, and it just didn't seem like there was a lot of people talking about it. There were still some. Brianna Fox, I don't know if you guys follow her. She's, first of all, her videos are always beautiful, but she loves Makeup Geek, and she has continued to use them forever. I just feel like there was maybe a disconnect between Marlena and her, what she felt like people wanted from her as the brand. So anyways, fast forward to December, she releases, or to January, she releases the Matrix collection. All of us are super hyped for it. I also bought some lashes, but I have not used those yet, so I won't be doing a review on those. But she released this Matrix collection. Everybody was really hyped for it, and then we saw the price and we were like, ooh, $125 for a Makeup Geek palette? Like, come on. This isn't Natasha Denona. And here's my thing with that. I actually was a little bit disappointed in myself for questioning it. I didn't question it online or anything like that. I wasn't throwing shade, but you do end up receiving a lot of shades. I mean, there's a lot of shades in this. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you get 28 shades in this. That's a lot of shades in a palette. But, and that comes to $4 a shade. So versus buying these as singles, you're doing really well. And if these are super high quality, it's definitely worth it. But here's my gripe with it. They're not super high quality. And I hate saying that. I feel like you can probably see and feel how uncomfortable I am with this, because I was rooting for her. I feel like I need the Tyra Banks meme. I was rooting for you. We were all rooting for you. Because I was rooting for her so hard. I was so excited to get this. And when I opened the box and I saw that it wasn't in the pan, or in the, yeah, the palette, I was like, wait, what's going on? Because everybody else had got theirs and I'd seen them like unboxing it and it came in the palette. And then I noticed on Twitter just before I got mine that Marlena had said, if you want to know how to do the layout, we put it on our website. And I was like, wait, is it not in the palette? But then I thought she had said that because of people who were buying singles and like building their collection over time. And so I thought that's what was happening. What actually happened is in between the release and my order being shipped, there's like a 10-day period because they were overwhelmed by the amount of orders, which is fair enough. I didn't mind that. But during that time, some people had received theirs, and because there's a gap in the palette along the top and the side, the top one is not as big as the side one, but because of that gap, shades were moving while they were being shipped, and so a lot of people's product was broken when they got it. So that's why they decided, okay, we're not going to ship it in the palette, we're going to ship them as singles and they can build it themselves. My issue with that is when I ordered it, nowhere on the website did it say I was going to have to build it. I read the entire listing a few times before clicking that I was going to buy it. And I know this was a decision that she made after I purchased, and that's okay. I just feel like a heads up email to everyone that ordered would have been nice, along with the picture showing where each shade goes. The other issue is when they package it, it was packaged alphabetically, the shades. It wasn't packaged in order that they go. So then I spent 2.5 hours building these palettes, which I feel like that is a long time to spend building a palette that I just spent $124 on. I feel like I shouldn't actually have to build the palette because I spent $124 on it. That's my issue with it. The other thing is, I actually have to say, as far as the palette goes, a couple of things. One, she went for matte packaging. I told you guys in my Tati video, loved her palette, hated the packaging, and it's because of how dirty it gets. And literally, like, look at the fingerprints on this, and this is with me wiping it clean after every use. It's just disgusting. Even the top of it, you feel like you want to hold it by the sides all the time. Because it's just, I mean, I have to say, it's heavy duty. It feels like good quality. This feels like proper acrylic almost, not any type of like thin plastic. But I hate the matte. I know that people are really into matte things right now and it's very on trend, but I think for a long-term idea, and also just in general, if you're a makeup brand, stay away from matte packaging because we're using eyeshadow shades. Dust is going all over, not dust, but fallout powder is going all over. Plus our fingerprints, you know, we're touching foundation and then touching this, and it just gets filthy to the point to where you don't even want to use it because you're like, oh, it looks so gross and dirty. So that's the packaging. Let's talk about the shades. I'm not sure if you guys noticed in my swatching video, but quite a few shades I would like go to swatch, and I did not do brush swatches in that video because I lost the light. You'll see that by the time when I started filming for the unboxing, it was perfect light. By the time I got it built and started doing the swatching, the sun was going down. That's how many hours had passed. And so, which is ridiculous. But anyways, you'll notice in that swatch video, there's like actual bits of chunks coming off of these shades. These shades are very dry. I was really surprised. Their old product was not like this. Like, Makeup Geek, I feel like, got their start by doing dupes. I remember you could pretty much look up any matte color and be like MAC cork or MAC soft brown and be able to find it on Makeup Geek's website as a dupe. And their shades were beautiful. They blended so nicely. They were amazing, and that's why people loved them, because you could get something that was just like MAC for like $7 instead of paying $17. And I have to say, these shades are very, very dry. I'm finding them difficult to blend. I'm wearing them today, and one of my complaints is that they're so dry that when I put them on, it's really hard to blend it in, and so I have to actually take a lot longer to do my makeup because of the fact that I'm using such a little amount at a time because they're so dry. When I'm using them, they have the kind of like flakes of product coming out, like in that swatch video where there was like the little flaky chunk bits. I find that so frustrating because she had said they did a reformulation, and I didn't understand why they did that. And I feel like that hasn't been explained because I thought their formula was great. I thought they were killing it. But yeah, I can't get on board with this. It's so dry. It's so hard to work with. And the amount of mess it makes, like fallout everywhere. I mean, even today when I was doing my makeup, I had my phone sitting on the counter because I was talking on the phone, and when I picked it up, it was covered in eyeshadow, and it was just sitting next to it. You know, my phone was sitting right here, and it was just absolutely covered. With the foil shades, oh, the other thing with this first palette that I don't like is you really only have one shimmer. And what is that? I can't get that out. I'll put it up on the screen. But you only have the one shimmer, and I feel like some of these shades could have been added as shimmers. We could actually do this whole second row as shimmers. I just feel like if you're going to do a palette that's supposed to be kind of like the end-all be-all, you can create anything from it, there was like a distinct lack of shimmers. And I'm not talking about full on foil and crazy shimmer, but the second one has like a light shimmer to it, and I just felt like it could have been added for this whole other row. Okay, moving on to the colors. I'm actually going to take a close-up of this pink one here because you can see some of those flakes like getting ready to come off. I'm not sure what that is, why it's happening so much in these shades, like what's going on, were they not pressed right, but all of them seem to do that, particularly the foils. The foils is like no joke with the chunks coming out. In fact, you'll be able to see on this last one here, there is quite a bit of product missing, and it's because it's falling out. I did like that in this colored palette, she added the top row of shimmers for pretty much every shade. I wish she would have done that in this one. But these are very shimmery, very foiled, and a bit too much if you're looking for a shimmer shade. And so that's a little bit frustrating. Also, I'm not sure if you guys know this, but in both of these palettes, there isn't a true black.
Nowhere near as black or as pigmented or as intense. So there's the old and there's the new. Like, look at that. Honestly, one of the blackest blacks. It's incredible. And I built that up too. I put my finger in quite a few times, so.
And that's something that's a little bit hard, especially for people with deeper skin tones. A true black is one of those shades. It's so hard to formulate to really get a true black that isn't slightly blue, slightly gray. It just, you want that pure, deep black. Somebody who did a really good job with that was Jaclyn Hill in her original Morphe palette. That was like a proper true black that blended beautifully. All of these are, so this one here is a really dark green, and then this one here at the very bottom is a deep brown, and then this is as well. So there isn't an actual black shade in this, and I feel like sometimes you need a black shade, whether you want to use it as eyeliner, you want to, you know, smoke something out really, really well. I just feel like that was missing. The other thing that's missing, and again, it goes back to the design of the palette, is the shades. You guys know I want the shades listed on the palette. I do not want to have to lift up each individual shade every time I want to know what something is called. I just print it. Like, it's not that big a deal. I feel like for this, and I absolutely hate being so critical because I was really rooting for her. I wanted this to be amazing. But I feel like for this palette, it should not have been done in a reusable palette. I feel like it should have been done in a kind of, you know, Makeup Obsession at Target, how they have the palettes and you can actually pop out the colors and like move them around, but the shades are secured by the palette being around it, like the little circular things. I feel like she could have done that in this. She definitely had the space, and I know she said the purpose of keeping it like this was so that you can build your own palette. I don't know many people that are going to build a 28 shade palette, and if they are, I think they would be okay with just buying their palette and their single shades. I don't think that the product should have been released like this, because she's selling it as a palette. She's saying like, this is a set palette, buy it as a set, I'm selling it as a set. And I just feel like there's enough room in these gaps to have created a little bit of a line to help hold these in place. And then whether it's printed on the back with the shade names or one of those plastic inserts that has the shade names, either one of them I would have been happy with. But I just feel like, and I hate saying this, but it's a bit of a miss for me on this because of everything. Like the shades being dry, they're a bit patchy, a bit hard to blend. Again, with the matte packaging, it just, the dirtiness just drives me crazy. And I know it's not like dirty, but it looks dirty, you know? And then also, we were so hyped for it, and especially because I had seen so many reviews from people where they were like, oh, this is amazing, oh, I love it. And so that's why I'm wondering, did I get, like, am I part of a bad batch? Am I part of a group of people that are like, hey, what's going on with these palettes? Because they dry AF, and everyone's saying they're amazing. Because I don't know, like I said, I'm gonna leave that swatch video down below so you guys can see it, and I'll put some insert clips here so you guys can see like where the bits of chunks are and stuff like that. Like this one in particular looks like it's gonna have this one too, but just so you guys can kind of make up your own mind based off the evidence. But with how much it is, and I know with Makeup Geek, they are a drugstore brand, but they're not drugstore quality normally. So I know with that, you're gonna pay a bit more, especially because it's made in the US and all of that. But I still feel like $125 for that palette is too much. I feel like if she would have sold it for $60, people would have been like, okay, we can justify that. But also, again, it wasn't necessary to do it in a palette that we could reuse. I know her idea in the future is she's got her blushes coming out, her contours, and so the plan is you can have your eyeshadows, your blush, your contour, your highlight all in one thing, and you're good to go. But those aren't out yet, and so it doesn't make sense to be selling a product. To me, it doesn't make sense to be selling a product that is planning for a future product that I may not even like and want to use. I just wanted the palette. So, I mean, those are my thoughts on it. You guys know I will always give a 100% honest review, and that's it for you. Like, that's my honest review. I don't think it was worth the $124. I honestly wouldn't even recommend buying it because of the dryness of it. Like I said, I've worn it every day for a week. I've used so many different shades in here, and I cannot get any of them to not be dry and patchy. And I made sure for each time that, you know, I prime my eyes and I'm always moisturized, and, you know, I'm like, I'm doing everything right, and I just cannot get these freaking shades to work. And I just feel like the dryness makes them look more creasy, I guess I would say. Like, it creases more, especially with the foils. And I just, yeah. So that's where it is for me. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm so sorry that I had to do a negative review, but I had to, because I'm not going to buy the product and hype it up if it isn't good. I don't want you guys to waste your money. So that's where we're at. I hope you guys enjoyed. Give the video a thumbs up if you did, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.